I'm new to this reviewing game, and when I got my hands on the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL a month ago, I refused to make a quick review as I couldn't fully understand the nuances that made the Pixel Pro different from other Androids. Sure, there's stock Android, and yes, being fully under Google's ecosystem in both hardware and software is an enticing proposition. But is it enough to pay nearly the same price for the Pixel 9 Pro XL over an S24 Ultra or an iPhone 15 or soon to be 16 Pro Max? The last question is really two different questions. And I think this review is challenging because depending on the phone you've been using, the Pixel 9 Pro XL really falls between the lines. For instance, when compared to the S24 Ultra, it falls behind in almost nearly every spec except for the amount of RAM. But as you can see in this quick list, you pay $100 less for the Pixel 9 Pro XL, and of course, give or take depending on whichever sales are going on. You lose a heck of a lot more. The Gorilla Glass Victus, the weaker G4 Tensor chip, the battery life feeling shorter, among other things, makes the 9 Pro XL feel like a phone that we all have to choose sides on. Okay, so you lose out on the spec side, but you gain one huge advantage, which I mentioned before, which is having native hardware and software suppliers be the same supplier. There's something incredibly satisfying knowing that the hardware and software was co-designed in-house. When you log into your Google account that you've had since grade school and photos are automatically prompted to save to your Google account, along with your phone backups, it just feels right. Unlike Samsung, where you have to ignore Bixby like that person that keeps reaching out to you when you don't want them to, or Samsung reminding you to log into OneDrive to back up your photos, which feels like your mom telling you to eat your vegetables. These are just annoyances that you don't have to deal with when using the Pixel 9 Pro XL. However, when you consider Samsung gladly using the insanely fast Snapdragon 8 Gen 3, it makes you wonder if the pros outweigh the cons. I think every reviewer will probably agree that the Pixel 9 Pro XL is finally a solid contender, but is still in second place when compared to the S24 Ultra. Sure, Samsung never developed a solid cloud system that rivals Google, Microsoft, or Apple. But I think we can all gladly ignore Bixby and the inconveniences for a superior experience, speed, battery life, screen, etc. The pros for the Samsung indeed outweighs the cons, which I can't say the same for the Pixel 9 Pro XL. As for the iPhone, it's clear to me that Google is using the same business model, utilizing their own Tensor chips, stealing even the same naming moniker as the A chips versus the G chips, and realizing the power of holding hostage by providing both the hardware and software that only a company worth trillions of dollars can provide. The Pixel 9 Pro XL seems to be aiming squarely at the iPhone, albeit 10 years behind in the race. And it shows. Despite the ability to produce one of the most beautiful phones that I think exists today, the Pixel 9 Pro XL feels like a phone that is still a few generations behind the top flagships, which honestly, it's okay because it may have been a huge delta 5 years ago, but in 2024, the difference between the Pixel 9 Pro XL and the iPhone is not as big as it once was. Now, the question of, is it worth it? It still feels like a question of loyalty. For instance, when any new product launches, the first few generations are always purchased by the enthusiasts. But almost a decade in, it still feels that way when your competitors have had almost a decade head start ahead of you. But with that said, Google is playing the game right, giving to their loyal base a phone that doesn't feel as much of a sacrifice, as long as you can admit that every other flagship performs better than yours. But that's okay, because at the end of the day, you don't really need the best phone. What we all need a phone is a phone that works, and one that works well. And the Pixel 9 Pro XL works very well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.